Hello and welcome to another edition of Investing for Generations. And today I want to talk about another very well-known company from the Robinhood app. And this time it is Aurora or Aurora Cannabis. Over 400,000 people on the Robinhood app hold this company, even after a big decrease in the stock price. And so I asked myself, why? Why so many people still hold this company and want to figure out if maybe after this big decrease, Aurora Cannabis can be a good investment or not. So let's check this out. By global market insights, the whole cannabis market should grow very fast and very strong from 2.8 billion right now to over 89 billion in 2026. That would be a CAGR of 52.7%, which is massive. And of course, with the market growing like that, there will be some winners, and maybe if you just pick the right one and you pick the winner, you can gain a lot of money with that. So let's check out if maybe Aurora Cannabis can be this winner or not. The main part of the world, cannabis is still illegal and only in North America, first and foremost in Canada, but also in some states in the US. It's legal already. In some other places, it's just used for medical reasons. For example, in the European Union and first overall in Germany, which is the biggest market in Europe. And there is a really high growing market in this medical sector. And the question is, if all of this looks so positive, why Aurora Cannabis, it's the orange line here on this chart, lost over 86% of its value over the last 12 months. Aurora Cannabis was almost traded at $130, and now we are just down at a little bit over $10. And of course, you also have to include in that the reverse stock split of 1 to 12. So in reality, Aurora Cannabis would be a penny stock right now. But this is another theme, and I don't want to talk so much about this reverse stock split. And to understand how much this market in Europe is growing and on what key points we have to look, I want to go through with you this article. And first it say that over 100 million of new money has been invested in medical cannabis focused companies across Europe over the past 18 months. But this is still far from the experienced in North America, where more than 3 billion are invested in medical cannabis market. And as I said before, the strongest focus is on Germany. 80% of the deals is on German-based companies. But the problem is, in Europe, of course, cannabis, it's not illegal. For example, in the UK, support for legalization has hit a high of 77%. Support in continental Europe is also growing. In Germany, about half of the population considers medical cannabis as a good alternative to traditional medicines. And as I'm German, I would say, yeah, I'm also in this half, at least for the medical cannabis. And Germany in Europe is the largest market. The European medical cannabis market is currently worth between 230 million and 280 million, and 150 to 175 million is in Germany. In Germany, medical cannabis products are sold exclusively in pharmacies and are only prescribed by doctors as last resort of medicine. And I can say this of my own experience, not a lot of doctor will prescribe cannabis to you. I work with some people with big handicaps and a lot of health issues. I remember just one people who got this prescribed cannabis as his drug from a doctor. And also in this article, it says just limited number of doctors roughly 2 to 3,000 or less than 5% of the German doctors in total prescribe medical cannabis products. Only around 10% of the 20,000 pharmacies in Germany sell medical cannabis products. But however, the German market will grow to 1.5 billion by 2025. That's the estimate. And of course, that's a very big growth over the next half decade. And I think this could be realistic as more and more doctors are just educated in using cannabis products. And I think it just have a big impact, at least when you have paid patients. And the question is, who will be the winner of this big growth? And in this article, it says they predict that the winning companies will be the first movers that are able to secure stable, long-term and high-quality supply, have an established nationwide sales team, target all stakeholders, patients, doctors, pharmacies and health insurers, offer a full range of quality products, and educate the prescribers. We anticipate that leading medical cannabis players in Germany will be also positioned to capture a significant share of the markets in France, Spain, or Poland when these markets open up. So, as a European, I'm not that sure that especially Poland or all of the Eastern Europe countries will open up anywhere soon. This will not happen in the next decade. This is my personal thinking or my feeling about that. Even if I think at the medical sector, it's absolutely useful. But the question to Aurora Cannabis come how good they are positioned in this perhaps big market. And for that I found another article about that. And this article is very fresh from July 20th. That's not good news for Aurora Cannabis because they are downsizing its workforce in Europe, but the company says it remains committed to producing medical marijuana in both Denmark and Germany. Further, they say they will fulfill current European sales agreements from its existing Aurora Europe offices in Berlin, said Yvonne Möller, the company's director for communications for Europe. And since I live in Berlin, maybe I should make a date with her and talk with her about these and get even more information. I even didn't notice before that they have their offices here in Berlin. Aurora has undertaken a thorough analysis of international operations to better align to current market conditions. Aurora is reorganizing our European operations, amounting in a workforce for reduction in select countries and in the regional office by approximately 1/4. For me, all of this sounds a little bit like they give up. They just capitulate on that. But maybe I'm wrong. But at least this is not a very good sign for the future of Aurora Cannabis and his position in the European and especially German market. And it seems like the European market next to the North American market will be the second most important. This could be really, really bad for Aurora Cannabis. And maybe that's one of the reasons Aurora Cannabis decreased in the stock price by 86% over the last 12 months. Right now they are trading a little bit over $10, and this is just because they make a reverse stock split of 1 to 12. Otherwise, they would be just a penny stock. Is it maybe a good chance to buy in Aurora Cannabis very cheap? Or is there maybe just a reason for this decrease and you should never touch it again? And to figure that out, just take a short look in the financial numbers of Aurora Cannabis. When we look at the revenue, we see there is a growth, there's a big growth in the revenue. That's of course is a very good sign. So there is nothing wrong. They're still growing and that's of course it's very good. And they're also working on very high gross margins. Also that is a positive sign. The problem is they can't make profits out of that yet. Maybe in the future, but right now they just burn money all the time. And we see the net margin and operating margin are deep in the red, and so are all the other numbers. For example, if you look at the EPS, at the earnings per share, you just see over the last quarters, they just burn money. Is not what we want. We want a company who make profits, but Aurora Cannabis until now don't make money. They just burn money every quarter. The question is, can they turn around this and can profit from the even higher revenues every quarter? And if they can, so of course it can be a very profitable company and a good chance to buy in now. And with that, of course, the next thing to look at is the balance sheet to see if they can stand this burning of money for a while. If not, if they are maybe also close to bankruptcy. And when we look at the balance sheet, we see that they have a good financial position. They have a debt equity ratio of only 0.14, which is very, very stable. The equity is much higher than the long-term debt. That's a good sign, and this just means they can hold that for a while. Hopefully for Aurora Cannabis, they can turn it around and can be profitable with this even higher revenue. But at least they are in a good financial position to maybe just rebuild or just find a way to be profitable. So what's my conclusion then? We have with Aurora Cannabis, one of the bigger players in the cannabis market, with a strong financial position, a strong balance sheet, but they just burn money every quarter so far. And the question is, can they find a way to be profitable in this obviously growing market and maybe high growing market? I'm not so sure if it really will grow at a CAGR of 52% per year, but I think it will grow. And sooner or later, also Europe will be more open, but I think it will be even later. I'm not that sure about that, but that's just my feeling as a European. So, and after all, it just is a gamble. Like with a lot of these growth stocks, it's a gamble, and it just comes to the bet if Aurora Cannabis can be profitable at one point, and if they can grow their revenue as they did in the past, and then come to a point where they be profitable, then of course you can gain a lot. At the end, that's really just a gamble. It's also very possible that they will never be profitable, and then at one point it's over. With this downsizing in Europe, this is not a very good sign for me, and so I will not touch Aurora Cannabis anywhere soon. But it's an interesting story. I like the story. To be honest, I didn't like the story before, but now I read a little bit into it, and there is some possibility, at least, but it's not for me at this point, because as you, I think, already know, I'm an investor, I'm not a speculator, and here we have a speculation. This is a purely speculation that Aurora Cannabis can be profitable at one point, and if they not, it's over. That's not the kind of investing I like. I like the long-term investing in profitable companies, in highly predictable, profitable companies, even if it's maybe not so sexy as a cannabis stock, but over the long run, it's just better for me, better for my nerves, and even better for the growth of my portfolio. And therefore, I also made a video about investing versus speculation. Check this out to learn more about the differences of that, and maybe understand a little bit better what I mean when I talk about investing and, on the other side, speculation. Of course, you can also make money with speculation, but you can also make money at horse racing, for example. So that's it for today. If you like the video, give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Ring the notification bell to never miss another video. And then we will see the next time, then with another analysis of another stock. See you then. Take care. Bye bye.